All right, so I know a few people have some issues when it comes to subnetting. No problem. I have a quick little subnetting table that will assist you in bridging the gap from point A to point C. This is the point B for you to combine all your knowledge together so you can start understanding subnetting a whole lot easier. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I want you to note is an acronym called CNAS. Look at it. CNAS. Very, very simple. Now let's break this down. CIDR, network, available IPs, and subnet masks. All right, cool. So now that we have this structured out, let's go down vertically and look at what CIDR is. Now we're going to go from 30 to 24. That's it. Not too hard. We're just going to count backwards. You ready? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, and 24. Simple. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Cool. So just remember that they're all slashes, by the way, right? Slash 27, slash 26, slash 25, and slash 24, right? Now we're going to move on to the network portion. Now this section is the horizontal line that I want you to remember, right? So it goes something like 64, 4, 252. Now it starts to seem like it's a lot, but it's not really a lot, right? Now, they are bits that you can calculate to get to the same region of information, but if you know your timetables, then you don't have to actively do the calculation. This is just as so. So what you're doing is you're just running on the X and Y axis. All you have to do is remember CNAS, right? 64, 4, 252. That's all you gotta remember. See what I'm saying? It's a pretty quick acronym to build out this entire table. Right? Let's start with the networking portion. 64. What comes before 64? 32. Comes before 32? 16. What comes before 16? 8. What comes before 8? 4. What comes before 4? 2. And what comes before 2? It's 1. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be counting upwards when it comes to 4. What comes after 4? 8. Comes after 8, 16, comes after 16, 32, after 32, 64, 128, 256, right? This is where it gets a little bit difficult, right? But we're going to walk through it slowly so we can understand what's going on. Don't worry, we're going to recap this again and again and again because we're going to use repetition to kind of drill this idea in. But let's work out the subnet masks first before we get into the main content, right? So let's pull up the good old calculator, right? As you can see, I've been working it out before. So you have a number that's 252, right? Don't worry, all you have to do to get the next number in the sequence is 252 minus 4. That gives you 248. See what I'm saying? 8 minus 248 is 240, right? 16 minus 240 is 224. 32 minus 64, pardon me, 224 minus 32 gives you 192, right? 64 minus 192 gives you 128. 128 minus 128 gives you 0. Don't be alarmed. You don't have to do this math in the exam, right? Because you're going to write this so many times that you're just going to automatically know it. And you're going to know it because there's other pieces of information that is associated with it. So there's no need to worry. You're going to catch it, right? This is something that you are going to get. But this is just for you to understand how we got 148, how we got 240, and so on, right? Let's move on. So we're going to run the table one more time. What is the magic number? That's right. The magic acronym is CNAS 64 4 252. See what I'm saying? Right? So let's break it down again. C as in CIDR, N as in network, right? A as in available IPs, subnet masks, right? Cool. Under this we have 30, 64, 4, 252. You see what I'm saying? Once you have this down, right? 30/30, right? What are we going to do with a /30? All we're going to do is just count 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. That's it. That's it. It's not that difficult to just remember that, right? Let me just make sure that this is right here for some uniformity, even though I should put the slashes before them, but come on, man. You're going to know this out of your head. Right, here's the vertical, right? Switch it to white, fill it to black. Here's the vertical. Now let's copy the horizontal, right? See what I'm saying here? Bam. Bam. Oh, wait, what happened? We're going to turn this all black. Right, and we can turn this white. Cool. You see what I'm saying? It's just a vertical and just a horizontal. What are we going to do with the 64? What comes before 64? 32 comes before 32. 16. For 16, 8. Then 4. Then 2. Then 1. Right? Come on, you basically just understanding how to build this table is almost enough to have you pass any subnetting question. But again, this is not explaining every single aspect of subnetting. This is just giving you a good table so you're able to move from point A to point B. Right? Let's count up from 4, 8. Then we go 16. Then 32, 64. Right? 120. Oh, hold on. 192. Nope, hold on. That's 128, pardon me. 128. And then 256. See what I'm saying? Right? This one, again, you can do the math, but you'll do it enough times. The numbers are not that hard to quite remember because there's an indication to the next one, right? So 248. 248. The next one is just 240. Right? And then 224 is a pretty weird number. But you know what comes after 224? 192. Come on, if you're trying to learn networking, 192 is going to scream at you. 192.168.0.0. Come on, man. 192. Then you have 128 right here again. 128. You're going to see that number so many times because 128 minus 128 is 0. See what I'm saying here, man? Cool. All right. Let's break down the next side of this thing. Let's build a table one more time. See? N-A-S, right? You see how many times you're going over the table just to make sure that we understand it, just to put a lot of repetition in there, because the more you practice it, the more you're just going to know it. Once you can do it, then you can just do it out of your head, and then once you can do it out of your head, you can just come up with the numbers, right? You don't have to kill yourself. There's so many things in networking that you have to learn for your exams, have to learn to, passing your technical interviews. There's so much when it comes to networking, and you don't want to get stuck on this, right? This is just to help you move from point A to point B. What's 32? 16, 8, 4, 2. What happened here? 26. 25, 24. Don't know what happened there. All right, and then 1. Available IPs 4, 8, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. Right? And again, this is a little bit tricky as well, but guess what? You're going to do it so many times that you're just going to know it. 248, 240, right? 224, 192, pardon me, 192, 128, and then 0. All right, now let's fill in some information here. When it comes to the subnet masks, there is some hidden information, right? What's happening is that this is the last octet that we're actually looking at. So the next piece of information that we need to know to fill this table out is just to understand there's 3 more octets before this one, and they're all filled out. The bits are all completed at 255. So we go 255, 255, 255. Right, cool. Moving on to the next one. It's 255.255.255. Moving on to the next one. Right, you see what I'm saying? 255.255.255. What is that? 224. Oh, hold on. 240, 240. 255.255. 255.224. You see what I'm saying? They all have 255s right before them. 3 complete octets. Right? .0. Cool. All right, now that we have this built out, and now that we're comfortable with this concept, and that the 252, 248, 240, 224, 192, 128, and 0, this is all the last octet. This is the 4th octet. Now that we're comfortable with this concept, and we understand that there are 3 fully complete turned on bits before this, now we can move on to the next part, right? Now, we're going to do this table one more time. Every single time we do it, we're just going to do it one more time. We're going to do the table again, right? Because it's so easy, it's so nice, it's so simple, it's so fast to get done. And every single time you just learn a little bit more, right? So that's kind of the whole game when it comes to something like this. Repetition, 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 repetition. You got to do it over and over and over again, right? To get it. So it's burnt into your brain. It's seared into your mind. You can't escape it. 224, then 192, and then after 192 comes 128, and then 0. Come on, man. You're going to do this so many times every single day. You just have to do this. Write the table. The first thing you do, you open your book in the morning, just write the table. Just write the table, right? Until you get it. Just like what you did with timetables, right? 26, 25, 24. Cool. Networks, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. What is the next one? 4, 8, 16, 32, 32, 64, 128, 256. All right, cool. Now, what if I ask you about? Now let's start putting some information together, right? Now, what if I say to you, I'm going to need a network, right, that can facilitate 4 computers, right? So there's going to be PC1, there's going to be PC1, PC2, right, PC3, and PC4, right? Cool. Now, I need 4 I need a network. I need a subnet mask of 4. I want 4 computers to fit on this network, right? What CIDR notation would you recommend? Would you recommend? Remember what this is. Remember what A is. A is available IPs, right? Right. These are the networks, right? Right. This is CIDR notation. And these are the subnet masks. Subnet masks, right? What IP would you what range would you recommend to me, right? What CIDR would you say is the best? Would you say that, well, /30, right? /30 has 4 available IPs, so I think that's good enough. You would be wrong, right? The reason why you're going to be wrong is that for every available IP address, right, that's listed, for every available IP address that's listed, there's a block of numbers, there's a block, for every listed IPs, there's going to be a network ID, and there's going to be a broadcast ID, so you can call it a bid, right? We're not going to get too much into broadcast IDs and network IDs in this one, but I just want you to understand that they take up network space. They take up some IP addresses, right? They take up one IP address for network ID, and then take up the next one for the broadcast ID. So every single available IP address will be missing 2, right? So on the available IP address side, we can write it like this: 4 minus 2, 8 minus 2, 16 minus 2, 32 minus 2, minus 2, 64 minus 2, 128 minus 2, 256 minus 2. You see what I'm saying? They're all missing 2s, right? They're all missing 2. Why? Because one is for the network ID, one is for the broadcast address, right? Cool. So now we're getting deeper and deeper into this. So it's time to start understanding how to recall this information from your mind. Say you have an exam, say you're put on the spot in an interview. How do you know what subnet you should use, right? Right out of your mind without building the table. Now this is where mental mapping starts to come in, right? So we're going to draw the table one more time. C, N, A, S, right? Let's go. 252, right? Give me the next one. You should know this already, right? 240. What's the next one? 224. What's the next one? 192. What's the next one? 128. And the next one is 0. Cool. No problem. You should be getting the hang of it. Available IPs. We start doing this backwards. 4, then 8, then we have 16. If there's 16 here, then 16 there. Come on, because you're writing it so many times, right? 32, 64. 128, 256, right? What is that? So that's 64, then that's 32, then that's 8, then 4, then 2, then 1, right? There was a slash 30, slash 29, slash 28, slash 27, slash 27, slash 26, 25, slash 24. See what I mean? All right, now let's start breaking these down. I'm gonna ask you for I need the available IP address, so I need the avail IP for slash 30, right? I need to know how many networks come from a slash 27, right? And I need to know what else? I need to know what is the subnet mask. I need to know what the subnet mask of I need to know what the subnet mask for, let's say, 25 is, right? For slash 25. See what I'm saying? Right? How do we do this? Without let's just move away. Let's move away everything. Right? Right? How do we figure this out? Cool. So we're talking about a slash 30. So we want to know how many available IPs we have. All we have to do is count. It's just as easy as counting, right? So we started with 30. So we're gonna go 30, right? 29, but we want to know the available IPs for 30, right? So we know 30 is the first one. So we have finger number 1. So we have 30. You can completely close your eyes and get this done, right? So 30, we need the available IPs. So 30, the networks are 64, and available IPs are 4 minus 2, right? So 4 minus 2. You see what I'm saying? 4 minus 2. All right, we want to know for 27 the network, how many networks we can get out of slash 27. So we go okay, so slash 27. Alrighty, that's 30, 29, 28, 27. All right, we want to know how many networks we can get out of 27. All right, not a problem. So 64, then it's 32, then it's 16, right? And then it's 8. So we know we can get 8 networks. We know we can get 8 networks, right? Out of slash 27. And for the subnet mask of slash 25, all right, so we're gonna go, let's put our thumbs into this one, but there's gonna be more. So 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, right? And we want to know the subnet mask for this. All right, let's count down. So it's 252, then it's 248, then 240, right? Then it's 224, then it's 192, then it's 128. So you know it's 255.255.255.128. You see what I'm saying? So the more you do this, the easier it becomes. See, for 25, it's 128. Let's select the answers. Slash 27, it's 8 networks, and for slash 30, it's 4 minus 2. So there we go. You see what I'm saying? So the more you do this, the easier it becomes. It's a very simple table, right? Of course, I could get way more intricate. I could start talking about, slash 8, slash, and slash number 2, right? But those are bits, and I'm not going to get down into this for this lesson. This entire thing was just to explain how do we move from understanding kind of about subnetting and then understanding more about subnetting. This information is just a table to bridge the two knowledge gaps for you, right? So if you learn something, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I know a lot of things about cars, IT, phones, laptops, PCs, whatever it is. Any question you have, any video you want to see, just recommend it now. If I can get the time, I'll just make it. I hope you learned something, man. Take care.